Hello guys, welcome to the lecture 3 of the course of Introduction to Astronomy. Today we are going to talk about the solar system. So as we talked in the previous class, the solar system is a planetary system where we contain 8 planets including the Earth, and the star is the sun, and the planets that we can see in this image orbits the sun. Okay, so we are going more deeper into each planet in this class. Okay, so we are going to learn about what is orbit, the difference between orbit and rotation, what is axial tilt. We are going to learn about sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So let's start learning. So first of all, we are going to talk about the difference between orbit and rotation. So orbit is the curved path through which objects in space move around a planet or star. So we can see in this image, revolve is orbit. So we can see this image, this blue ball is moving in a circular orbit around this object. So this is called a orbit. Okay, and then we have got rotation. So rotation is the movement in a circle around a fixed point. So rotation is like something is moving in a circle, but it's in the same point, it's stationary. Okay, so it's like a fidget spinner, you can you can imagine. Okay, so this is rotation. Okay, and then we have got axial tilt. So axial tilt is the angle between planet rotation axis and its north pole and a line perpendicular to the orbital plane of planet. So this is a complex definition that we can simplify, that it's the perpendicular line on of the center of the earth, as we can see here, and the angle 23.5 degrees is the inclination from this line. Okay, this is in simple words, it's like an inclination of the planet, you can say it like this. Okay, and then we have got a sun. So the sun is a star that emits light and heat in form of energy. It emits light and heat, and the sun emits energy in form of heat and light through nuclear reaction in its core. So on the sun, there are happening a nuclear reaction which emits this energy that we are receiving in form of light and heat. So about a curious data I found on the internet is that about 600 million tons of hydrogen fusion nuclear reactions occur every second. That is a huge number, 600 million tons. Okay, so you can imagine it, how much nuclear reactions are being there on the sun. And then we have got Mercury. So Mercury is the closest planet to the sun and the smallest in the solar system. Okay, this planet is characterized for being a rocky planet with high daytime temperatures and low nighttime temperatures. When the sun faces away, it can reach temperatures to minus 290 degrees Celsius. Okay, and it isn't the hottest planet in solar system. I know it's near the sun, but it isn't the hottest planet in the solar system. Okay, and then we have got Venus. So what is Venus? Venus is the second closest planet to the sun. Okay, so it's characterized by being rocky, and its dense atmosphere is composed mainly of carbon dioxide, which makes it the hottest planet in the solar system due to the greenhouse effect. So this planet is composed mainly by carbon dioxide with an average temperature of 462 degrees Celsius. So I want to say you a fact. When we see on sky, we see after moon, the the object that we see is lighting too much is Venus. Okay, so you can see Venus in the sky. You can locate it. It's the second object which is shining. Okay, in the sky after moon. Okay, and then we have got Earth, which is our planet, of course. Earth is the third planet of our solar system, and it's composed mainly by nitrogen and oxygen. We have 78% of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen, and this is a perfect condition where humans can live. No, okay. And then comes Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the sun, and Mars has 95% of carbon dioxide, 3% of nitrogen, 1.6% argon, and some traces of oxygen. The oxygen is too much low, too much low that humans can. It's difficult that humans can't live there because they will need something to live there because the oxygen is so little. Okay, and the average surface temperature is a minus 60 degree, and at night the temperatures drops too much. Okay, and Mars also has polar ice, which is composed of water ice and dry ice. So few months ago they found ice on the polar side of Mars. Okay, this was frozen ice, and scientists and researchers are trying to find a way that they can colonize Mars, and they can make like an artificial oxygen. People can live there. Okay, and Elon Musk, the famous entrepreneur, has idea to colonize humans on Mars. Okay, so I have a interesting link here. I have give you. Okay, you can view it by clicking it. It's interesting facts that tell NASA about Mars. It will be nice that you look on it. Okay, and then we have got the asteroid belt. Okay, the asteroid belt is a region in space between Mars and Jupiter containing huge amounts of asteroids. These asteroids are orbiting the sun like other planets. Okay, and these asteroids are widely spaced apart. So when we get outside of Mars, this is you can see this is Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. We have we have too much asteroids that are orbiting the sun between Mars and Jupiter. Okay, this is the we call it the asteroid belt, and we can also see other asteroids like Trojans, Hill. These are other zones that where asteroids are located. Okay, Hales, Trojans, and Greeks. Then we have got Jupiter. So Jupiter is the fifth planet from Sun, and the famous thing about it that it is the biggest planet of solar system. It is called we can call it a gas giant because it is mainly made up of gas. It is mainly made of hydrogen and helium, and it is famous about our swirling storms, like the Great Red Spot, which is a storm. We can see here we can see it. This is the Great Red Spot uh, there are too much storms happening. Okay, in this atmosphere. And then we have got Saturn. In my opinion, Saturn is the most beautiful planet of the solar system. Okay, so Saturn is the sixth planet from Sun, and it is also called a giant because it's also composed by highly composed of hydrogen and helium, and it is famous of its ring made up of ice and dust particles. You can see here the rings, these beautiful rings, and it is famous about these rings, and people love it. They say this is the most beautiful planet because it's so beautiful. And Saturn has also got a lot of satellites like Jupiter, more than 80 satellites that we have moon, and these planets also have satellites, but there are a lot more than 80 satellites has got Saturn. Okay, so then we've got Uranus. So Uranus is the seventh planet of solar system. Uranus is cold and icy. Yeah, we know it because when the distance from the sun is getting bigger, so the temperature is going downwards. There is more cold and it's more icy. Okay, so Uranus is cold and icy. Uranus also have light rings composed of dark particles, dust, and ice. We can see rings of Uranus, but they are too light that it's not like Saturn that we can see it in more in detail. They're too light, okay. And this concept you have see of dark particles is a very interesting concept in astronomy of about dark matter that we will see in the upcoming courses. Okay, so Uranus has also a very different rotation from other planets. It rotates on its side with an axial tilt of 98 degree. Okay, so it means it's like This is the photo of Uranus, and it's like rotating like 90 degrees, like perpendicular, like a right pathway. It's following, okay. And this is the most strange thing that is in Uranus. It makes it completely different from other planets of solar system, okay. And then we have got the last planet, which is Neptune. So Neptune is the eighth planet of solar system, and 80% of Neptune is composed of various forms of ice. It means 80% of Neptune is ice, okay, so because it's too far from the sun. And it is the coldest planet of solar system. We also call it ice giants, with average temperature of minus 214 degrees Celsius. This is a too much cold temperature. And it takes, and a strange fact about Neptune is that Neptune, it takes 165 years for Neptune to orbit around the Sun. Okay, the Earth takes 365 days to complete a orbit around the Sun, but in Neptune case, it's 165 years to orbit around the Sun. And Neptune has strong winds and huge storms in its atmosphere. Okay, hey, we have finished this lecture. So this was all about our solar system, about the beauty of our solar system. And in the next lecture, we will cover about the basic concepts of universe, which will help us to understand other concepts in our future courses. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the lesson and keep learning astronomy.